How are you guys doing? Oh, I wasn't even over here. How are you doing? Any questions? I was abandoning you. I know. Skippy.
On and not just.
It's always on. Let's talk about this injury thing. So how this came about was in my clinic. There's these functional capacity evaluation tests. These are orthopedic tests that show deficits in our movement apparatus, like muscle deficits or stretchy deficits, like too tight kind of things, that if there is a problem with that, cause a lot of injuries. And so I said, well, I'm not going to have my patients in here and charge them money for doing that with them, and they balance, and I look at my watch how long they can balance. I'm just going to make a little thing, and I give it to them. And then slowly it got integrated in class as well, because we're doing with muscles. And so I figured at least that way I give you something useful. When I explain to a patient of how the system sort of works, I go fairly fundamental and say, like, bones are stacked together one another, and then ligaments, rubber bands hold the bones together, and then we got muscles and they move everything around, and then we got a brain, and the brain talks to everybody and make sure everything moves around. And then everywhere along this chain, things can go raunchy if we fall down and have an injury, for example. So we can have a joint that gets stuck out of place and don't move anymore because we fell on something weird. And that just, pushes, this is physical, it pushes things around, it just happens in gravity. Or we have a ligament that stretches and overpowers because maybe this guy fell forward onto his knee in a way that this ligament going up and down just popped. Can happen too. So that can happen. Or maybe it's just overstretched. A lot of times a twist in an ankle, it overstretches these ligaments out here. It doesn't just tear them. But still, ligaments, if you think healing, you think how much blood supply goes to something. And ligaments, not that much blood supply, because a lot of movement where ligaments are. The more movement, the more pulling on things, the more the blood vessels will tear. So we probably don't want to have too many in there. I have two people in my neighborhood, and one of them tore all the ligaments, and the other one had an avulsion fracture where the bone pulled off a little bit. First, it seems the bone pulling off is worse. But you don't necessarily know, because bone is very vascularized. It heals really nice. So you have to be serious about these overstretched ligaments, because often then the muscles have to take over what the ligaments doesn't hold and protect it. And then that's another place where we can have injuries. We can have injuries because of that overuse. At some point, let's say the ligaments out here are floppy because I twisted this too many times. These muscles, this fibularis muscle that goes by the fibula, that we'll learn, goes underneath the foot and anchors right into here. And so when it contracts, it does this motion. And when I twist my ankle, it does this motion. So if these ligaments are floppy, they're overstretched, this muscle's going to protect it. But but then that muscle needs to be very strong, very agile. So you better do balancing exercises. Don't sit just around on the couch and don't do anything. Because it's hard for muscle tissue to grow when we don't do anything in gravity. But that's sort of how that thing functions. And then when we look at injuries in the muscles, I look at a lot of muscles either being too tight or being too wimpy, and sort of that's what happens when we then evaluate it, because we're looking at muscles that are maybe not strong enough, and some muscles are too tight. And so what I want to do in this session is I want to go through a few of those tests together. First one we want to do is we want to balance, and we want to see how long can we balance on one leg.
Oh yeah, that's not going to work.
So, make sure you be able to hold on to something, and then maybe pair up with two people. So if you can balance on one leg, and you're not 60 yet, for 30 seconds before you have to hold on to something, you're okay. You passed the test. If you can, we have to talk. But all you're going to do is just do some balancing, right? Because the problem is this: when we get old, this is a problem. That's how people die. Because we fall, we go to hospital, we don't come back out. So balance is very important. So, you'd be amazed of some people that are young that don't have it no more. All right, now, let's do the hard part. Let's close the eyes. Now, you can do me, because I'm sure I ain't any better. First, eyes open. Ready? Go. So after 30 seconds, you can let it out. Be done with it, right? If you do 30 seconds, you're good.
We got 8.
Are the eyes open or the eyes closed?
They were open.
Oh, well, see, I'm practicing that with my dog. Well, we at 30 yet?
Not yet. There.
All right, now let's do the other side.
Okay, hold on.
Well, you know, the eyes open is the easy part.
Okay, ready?
I'll show you why. That's a good question. We'll talk about that. Now let's do the close. Now we see what's going to happen.
Okay.
All right, ready?
Okay.
Go.
Okay, go.
I know that's why I did it.
That's hard.
Oh, shoot.
Good reflex.
Where are we at?
24.
All right, so that one's good. So 25 close. Now let's do the other side.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
Go.
Wait, first just with your eyes. Yeah, with your eyes. Look at you.
I've been practicing with my dog.
Oh.
With your dog?
That's cheating.
Well, then, you know, he doesn't want to walk, so I have to sit around with him. I just do stuff like that.
Wow. Okay, that's 25.
Woo! I still got it. Why do we have a different response, eyes closed and eyes open? Because when we look at the balancing apparatus, we got 3 places we balance through. We got the inner ear. That's that pector's portion that we find out where that inner ear apparatus is, where we have the balancing.
How long you can balance?
And then we have the eyes that tell us how we are responding with the outside world. That helps us with balancing. And then we got in the neck, we got a lot of reflexes that tell the head, that tell the brain where the head is in space. They're called proprioceptive inputs. Those are actually, and so those are the 3 inputs. If they get confused, we get dizzy. So sometimes when people have a whiplash, they get dizzy because the neck is messed up and the eyes don't say the same message to the brain than the neck nerves. And the confusion makes us dizzy. It's incongruent. And so when we take one of those senses away, we take the eyesight away. We have only 2 impulses. We have middle ear and neck. And so that's the problem. When we get older and it gets dark, we have less impulses from the feet as we get older of telling us where we are in space as well. And then that's when you see people walk more wide-stanced, for example, when they get older. Because our reflexes are less. Our feedback system is less fast. So that was number 1. How did you do? Any insights? Time to get a balance pad? Do the dishes on the balance pad and dance to music and have a little fun with it, right? You know what balance pad is? It's a non-compressed kind of foam kind of pad, like $25 at Amazon. And because it doesn't compress, you can't just stand down and it steps down. You have to always balance, and that always having to adjust and balance keeps the system really alert. And that's a good thing. Helps with a lot of pain too, by the way. Movement helps to decrease pain. So now, are you ready for this one? We gotta do some squats.
I'm leaving.
What do you mean? That's all right.
You should have seen me do balance my leg.
That was good, huh? You did?
It was horrible.
Well, you know, but basically, if you think about the reason, one of the reasons why I'm doing it, because I'm going to introduce this to more gyms. Because when I went to the YMCA and they gave me an hour at the beginning, they don't do nothing to weigh me. I'm like, I know that. That's not going to help. You know, I already know I have to lose some weight. Come on.
Right, that's
Jesus,
not
right? That ain't going to help.
Yeah, that's not helpful.
And so, but this stuff is so you don't hurt yourself. And this stuff is so you know where to work on so you get better and more resilient and strengthened over time. You want to do 5 minutes a day. You don't want to do more than that at the beginning. You push yourself to do 5 minutes a day. That's a lot of work. And when you're done with it, you get yourself a piece of chocolate. Because that's your reward. And then that seems to work. Anyway, squats. See, I'm getting distracted. Ready? So when you do squats, we're going to test these muscles. And these muscles are very important because if they don't work, you go like that. And so in order to stand up, they need to work. And so that's another one of those old age things.
Right.
Right?
Here.
The problem, right? But that's important. What you want to do is you want to make sure you go parallel to the floor. You don't just go a little bit. Like you stick your butt out. You don't go like that. You go like that. So this is what you want to do. 1, 2, and this is the guys, and this is the ladies. So you look at that. You go better away. I have to do double. So let's see how many I can do.
Just see one, maybe.
Are we gonna start?
Right? Yeah, go.
Come on, baby. You're young.
Oh, and you should take 2 or 3 seconds for one of them.
That chart is wrong.
See that? That's another thing, because if you do it too fast, you can do a lot of them. Are you counting?
Yeah.
How much?
13.
Oh, that's it?
14.
Oh.
I'm done. Right.
What, 15? Oh, shoot. 23. 24. 25. Woo! 26. I have 33.
So done?
Yes, you can do it too, huh? High five. Good job. All right, how you guys do? Well, we still not. You got it? You got it? Super. But that's some good stuff. We're all gonna have some when we're not gonna be that great, and then we know what to do. A lot of them are stretching. So the squat one is probably the hardest one, I think, because the next one is the side bridge. All right. So when we look at the side bridge, how long can you hold this trunk level? If the elbow hurts you, it's hard floor. Take something to rest it on, maybe, or balance it with the forearm or so. And then you want to see how long you can hold it on each side. All right. And you be, what is it on the knee, right? No, you're holding your elbow and then the leg, the lower leg. Oh, all right.
Oh my God, you're sweating.
Yeah. Oh, that was hard work.
Yeah.
So now the next one's easy. Now we need 2 people. Oh, we still have somebody going. So that's hard. I didn't realize how hard this was. We're gonna do 4 and 5 together. Those are easy. The hard part is over. Everything else is stretching. All right, you guys. Now let's finish up. Oh, you doing that? No, we'll wait. Sorry. No, keep doing it. Keep doing it. This is good stuff. You guys are really doing good stuff. This is hard. All right, so now we have a couple more I want to do in 30 seconds. So what?
I was just.
No.
I was just letting you know.
That's all right.
I was
That's
just
all right.
keeping it.
Almost. See, that's hard. All right. Almost. I know everybody's watching, so you have to hold through. Can't let go. Almost there. You got only like a few more seconds. You got this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There you go. Good job. So that's hard work, you guys.
Hard work.
If you do that, but you got it. You're good enough. You fit. This means you're fit.
What was that good for?
The whole side trunk stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good, but that's strong. We're good. So the last one I want us to do is the hamstrings. We want to have the ability to have these go up 90 degrees.
Do we need something?
No, we just do it together. So if it's not long enough 90 degrees, then we want to stretch the hamstrings because they're too tight. They can pull on things. And also later on, those are structures that tear on people. If you go playing soccer at 45 and you... My teacher in Utah I called him because I was going to work on McCaffrey. And I'm like, you know about McCaffrey? He's like, oh yeah, his father. I told him his hamstring's going to give, and he said I should go home. And then a year later, his hamstring told he had to give up his career. So it's a big deal. Hammy's a big deal. And then the last one I want to do to check, because it's in the same line, the calf is also important to stretch. And the way you stretch the calf is you stretch it by keeping your knee straight, and you stretch the back calf muscles. And if you get a decent, 22.5 degrees, if you measure it out of that, your gastrocnemius muscles, which are the ones that go up to the femur, they are strong enough. And then what you do after that, you bend your knee. And you bend it in because you have a muscle that is attached right on here on the bottom, the soleus, and goes into the heel. And if that muscle is tight, that whole problem is also not loose enough. So you want to test both of those. And you have average measurings there, but you get a feeling if that's too tight or not. And then now we'll pick it up. And we need to understand a little bit of what our, stomach muscle, core muscle is looking like. And so we have one test that's a repetitive sit-up test. So we're going to couple that on a little bit, getting our blood pumping. Well, did anybody listen to that NPR thing that I sent out? Probably not, because it's always stuff. But they were actually researching through Columbia University that if you're sitting 30 minutes and then you get up and walk around for 5 minutes, and you sit again, that could be doing your dishes, go do your dishes and stuff. It doesn't have to be like crazy stuff. They measured that somebody's blood sugar is 40% less. Blood pressure 5 points down. Just from doing that. Every half hour get up, get the blood moving. Anyway, so that's all that we want to do, the stomach and the core muscles. So we want to do proper sit-ups. And so we want to go face up. We want to do 2 people at a time. Yeah. And then I want one person holding the feet, the other person, somebody can do it with me to show. And then the other person does sit-ups, pushing the stomach, look at that, and press the abdomen to the floor. Keep your shoulders relaxed and lift your chest to the bottom. The palms reach the knees, and then you go back down. So you want to do, how many of those can you do? And if you're if you're a guy, you got to be giving me 27. If you're a lady, you get to do 19, and then you're good. All right, you ready to do that? 5 minutes? Who wants to pair up with me?
I'll hold your feet for you.
Yeah, come on, guys. Where's the juice? Last week we had some juice. All right, come on. Hold my feet. Anybody else? Pair up. All right, so it says there, you go like that, and then, I haven't tried these up all. All right, I go, how many, 27? All right, my head is already, and you guys are doing it too, or are you just watching me doing it?
We're just watching you.
Oh, that is lame.
See, look, you can get back up.
2,
Quick.
3, 4,
Anybody else?
5,
Back in my stomach, connected to my
Alright.
Come on.
8.
And you don't want to go too far up because you're using your psoas muscle, not your stomach. So you want to do that palm to the hands. And not more than that.
6. Last one. 27.
Woo! So you guys, if you don't do it here, you got to do it at home. You know that, right? It's part of the homework. I got to make sure I read that homework real well.
2 more.
Girl, I know what it is.
Last one. 19.
Yoo-hoo! That's hard. I know we get the rebound effect on, right? All right. So if you done those, you're good. If you don't, it's always good to do a little core stuff. But now we have another test that's important that helps us understand what the core is doing, and that's the lowering leg test. And so what we do with that is we bring up the leg vertically all the way up, a straight leg, and then we flatten our back. We tilt the pelvis down, flatten the back, and then from there we lower the leg down. And what you can do is one can have the finger on the other person's back, and as soon as the flatness arches up, then you measure how far down did you go. And if you're all the way up here, you don't have much good core. If you go below 65 is what we want, I think. 65 degrees, so that's around That's around here. So if around here we go down, the back stroke's going up, then we're more or less okay.
Okay.
Anybody doing me? Anybody else do it on themselves? Come on, guys. Yeah, but when do you arch your back? That's the challenge, right? You have the back flat on the ground, and then as you come down, where do you arch your back up? And that's not it's a hard one, but it's an easy feel. You feel it, right? Can you hold it against the floor or not? I'm about right here and it comes off. But I have to concentrate to keep it on the floor. So that's another one where we can measure how well is your core musculature developed. It's, that's one of those most of us should probably do a little bit. Core exercises, that's a good thing. And you could do core exercise by simply holding your stomach firm. That's actually the fundamental one to do because that does compress. That's what the core is. To hold the stomach muscle in as well as you can. And so when we work with patients, the first thing is they actually do bracing, abdominal bracing. We poke them a little, say keep it stiff, and that's sort of when they get the awareness of that. Because if there's pain here, let's say we got a low back pain, it's very hard to want to do that. But the only solution is to do that. Everything else is going to not work. You can. It's all right. I know. I cry too. Because all the medicine that's going to numb things, it's not going to make it better. It's just going to give you a little time so you don't feel it. If it's inflamed, yeah, it's a short-term goal. Other than that, it ultimately is because if we have these vertebrae back in here, it's like a meshwork, and it pulls it together and it stiffens it, and it makes it much more solid in the back. So that's why. Oh, we are on the next one. That's why that lowering leg or the core stuff is important. And then I guess you haven't really shown that much juice in you tonight, so I guess I'm going to make you do the next one. Or at least I'm going to do the next one, but the next one is also an interesting one because when we look at these muscles are often tight. And if we sit a lot, these muscles are tight. When you get out of the car, you go like, oh my God, I'm going to stretch out. These muscles are tight. That's what they do. When we do and often when these things are tighter, we're going to have more back problems. And so there is muscles they call the psoas muscles. And then there is also a muscle on top. That's the top layer of the rectus femoris, of the top quad. That also helps with that motion a little bit. So these flexes are, when they're tight, they give us faulty movement patterns. And so we want to see, are they loose enough? So you want to lay on a bench, and we got a few benches. These are strong enough. We just move the stuff away. We can lay on it, and then you want to have the hips at the edge of the bench. You want two people, so one can hold, make sure everything is good. And then you bring the knee to the chest and hold while the other leg falls down. And you can see, can it reach to the table, or is it lifted up a little bit? If it's lifted up a little bit, you got to stretch yourself some flexes if you want to get healthier movement patterns, because that's very likely something that's going to cause pain and injury. It's one of those chain things that create problems. And so that's the next one that I want us to do. All right? Who wants to do it on me? I thought it was just me who's got low energy today. All right, so what we do, oh, look at that.
You're going to get on that table?
Of course.
Bless your heart.
So, what you're going to do is you're going to go and you're going to hold your knee, and you're going to see, is the other knee, the other leg going to flat on the table, or is it going to hold like that, hold up low? Mine's doing pretty all right. It's flat on the table. That's what you want. I've been stretching a lot.
See?
That's down there as well. But if it's holding up like that, then you know these muscles are stiff and are tight. Anybody else? It's often the guys post 40 that get this problem. That's who you really see a lot of times. And if that's the case, you want to do these kind of exercises. This is good anyway if you do long road trips. When you get out of the car, you do like this kind of stuff.
You can do that.
Huh?
Do it.
Do what?
She said she could do that.
That looks more.
Yeah, that's a good stretch. And then the next one, come on you guys, back endurance, static back endurance tests, repetitive sit-up tests. Get onto a table, See, back muscles are very important. This is two people. One holds the leg, the other one reaches right here, and you can go down on the table, and then you see how long can you hold it up. Guys, 97 seconds. Ladies, 87 seconds. And then after that, you still hold the legs, but then you do repetitive arm chops. And the guys want to do 28, the ladies 24. There's another table over there. You can take these things off if you want. Come on.
Nobody's jumping up.
Nobody's jumping out. All right, you gotta hold my legs, otherwise I'm gonna fall over.
Where do you want to sleep?
Go!
No!
You got him?
His hair
All right, I'm ready.
Okay. He's turning red.
Yeah, but you gotta hold down that feet. Right! You're falling down.
I'm gonna get reinforcement.
How much more?
132. 37. 37 now.
Ah!
Oh my god.
Oh, see?
Repetitive arm chops. Anybody sitting on my legs? There you go. Got it? Because this is going to be harder on you guys. One.
There's some cracking.
Oh,
Oh, no.
Oh,
one more.
oh, don't let go yet. Now you can. All right.
Remember, you rubbed,
Anybody else? I can hold you down.
remember, you rubbed the butt.
Oh, yeah, but I didn't make these up.
Oh my god.
I just translated them.
Okay.
All right, no water takers? We have 3 more minutes. So that's not enough. But we also have knee flexion, where you want to see how bendy is your knee. Can you do that? I can still do that. Some of it I do with my dog. When I sit in the grass with him, I have to do it. And you sit on your feet like that. So that's important to stretch these as well. And then lastly, we have neck endurance
She likes to teach.
test. Because how much is your posture like that has a lot to do how wimpy these flexors and muscles are, these deep in the front. So if you raise your head a little bit off the table, just a little, and then hold it, you can measure how these deep muscles are. And this is the thing where we want to do these Brooker positions, and we've already went through what we to do about it, basically, in those exercises we did before. And then lastly, it's a 3-minute step test. How much is your pump going after 3 minutes of stepping out, stepping down on a 12-foot thing? It's like 2 steps or so, 12 feet. And that's it. Thank you guys very much. See you next week. Bye.